All right, I'm pretty good. You
Mm-hmm.
ready to go?
Yep.
All right. You ready? Let's lock in as usual. All right. So test the microphone. We haven't done this in a while, so feels good to be back. By the way, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do this. Hello and welcome back to another 5K tennis discussion. Today is May the 21st, 2023, and here we are for another major and another group chat and kind of discussion as we navigate through this major, right?
Yep.
Hopefully everyone has been very good. And by the way, for the past 5-6 years, we have done shows every single day throughout majors and every other day when majors are not happening, right? The only reason why that has changed is we've been quite busy in a good way, in a positive way. But here we are, and we will continue to do this daily. At least we hope so.
Yep.
During this French Open, hopefully everyone has been great. It's been a few months since we've done a show. I know I've downloaded some random videos about kids or tennis or whatever, but we haven't sat down and chatted with all of you. So I'm really excited about being back. Carla, how about you?
Excited to be back. Sure.
Mhm.
We just been busy teaching.
Yes, indeed.
That's it.
This is a good thing. I wanted to give a couple shout outs to begin this one. And there's a lot of you out there that we want to give shout outs to. But during the past 4 months of really not being able to have the time to sit down and talk tennis with all of you, wanted to give shout outs to those of you that have kept up with us personally. And if you do wish to keep up with us personally, you can go to Facebook if that's your thing. And you would look up either 5K Tennis on Facebook, Mirror Lake Racket Club on Facebook, or Justin, Justin, Carla, Carla space Davis on Facebook, or 5K Tennis on Instagram. You can definitely keep up with us personally then. So the following people have never wavered. They've been right there with us every single day. So I'm going to list those off. Mike Walker, number one. What's up, my brother? Hope you're good. Spoke to him yesterday or the day before, I think. All of our students stemming from teaching from many years ago up into the current. So shout out to all you guys to deal with us all the time, talking smack and trying to bring the best out of you and still being here. That means you're a soldier. Number two. Number three, Sophie Caldwell. She's one of our young students. She started tennis about a year and 4 months ago from the very first ball we started her. She had a tournament that we have 5 children, but the 2 oldest are in college. So they weren't there, but our 3 youngest ones played that. And Sophie, by the way, made the semifinals of the girls 14s. And she just started playing a year and change ago.
Yep. She did really good.
Also, shout out to Sophie's dad, Daniel. So we have the luxury or the blessing of teaching at a club. And the problem that we always had was going to take a shower and in the middle of the summer, and we're like sweating bullets. And then when we would take a shower, we would get out of the shower, and as soon as we stepped out of the shower, we'd be sweating bullets again.
Yes.
Why? Because the air conditioner didn't work, right? But he fixed that. So endless thanks to Daniel. What's up, bro? Always a shout out to Gene Swart. Always a shout out to Thomas Chi. Gene Swart is in South Africa, respectively. Thomas Chi is in Canada, respectively. Both of them are the ones that keep up with the scoring for our fantasy teams and cash giveaways. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be able to do such, because just time is fleeting. It's tough for us to come up with the time to add up scores like we used to do years ago. And they do a very good job of that. So Thomas Chi and Gene Swart. Wildlife One, what's up, my bro? You're always in the thick of it. B-Dog02, Bobby Harris, what's up, my brother? Florence Chan, who has painted us a beautiful picture. If you see the 5K bracket up there on that beautiful canvas, she sent that to us. What's up, Flo? Rahesh Kumar, my man, what's up? If Rahesh is in Houston, but he's from India. So Rahesh, I ask you, and if you log on or watch this later, again, we always run into the international hour. So it's 3 o'clock here, right? So if you're in NDO or wherever, we have to think about what time it is there. So Rahesh, whenever you watch this, I love you, bro.
He's in Texas though. So
Darius, what's up, Darius, my man? He's like my partner in crime, right? Darius gets me, right? Don't you think? He understands me.
yeah.
And he's not scared to, hey, bro, he's not scared to tell me. He's one of the few fruit brothers that will tell me to chill when I need to chill. Much respect there. And I think that covers mine. Do you have any
No, I think
random
that's
shout
pretty
outs?
much the same. I think Jesus sent us this.
Oh, Jesus
I
Carraba, yeah.
couldn't figure it out. I mean, I think he said it was some type of art or something.
Yeah,
But he sent it from Mexico. So
yeah, so Jesus sent us this picture. This is kind of that, not the best way of showing you, but nonetheless, that's how we roll. Okay, for those of you that play our fantasy teams and cash giveaway competitions, we're going to go ahead and announce the competitions now. We usually do 2 videos, one to talk about the major, and then a second one to do the rules and entries and so forth. We're going to do that all in one. Okay. I thought about doing it at the end.
Yeah.
But I don't want to have to kind of rush through all these topics and then pause. I just want to keep the energy flowing. So if you don't play the fantasy team games, you might want to kind of pause your mind and then move forward maybe 5 or 10 minutes. And we'll timestamp that when this live show is done. Okay, so for this French Open, we are going to put forth $200. That's American dollars or US dollars. For our finals predictions, right? And then we are going to put forth, as usual, $50 to the top 2 people that finish at the top of our fantasy team games. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and read those out so we can squash, that, and so we can talk tennis, right? Okay. So the $200 cash giveaway, and that's payable immediately. We can either send you a check, cashier's check, cash, we can do that, but chances are, the cash doesn't end up in your mailbox type thing. Venmo, what's some other ones? Zelle, whatever, Western Union. We've sent Western Union to Lithuania before, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, so for the $200, what you need to do is in the comment section of this video in comments, if you can predict the men's finalists and the women's finalists and both winners, simple as that, we'll send you $200 cash, US cash immediately. Okay?
Simple as that. It's not that simple.
It's not simple.
Yeah, I don't think it's simple, especially that Rafa's not playing, and I don't think Djokovic has looked 100%. Or at least like he used to be, unstoppable. Women's is always tough to predict. So yeah, I think this is going to be the toughest one.
Do you recall the last person that won the pot? Do you recall?
It was a racket. We weren't given a pot. It was
Matt Cain in London.
That's a long time ago.
What's up, Matt?
It's like
Cain?
one of our first shows, and it was easier.
No, that wasn't our first show.
It was one of our first shows. Meaning it was like early, and not only that, it wasn't like predict both finals and winner. It was like one only, so it was a little bit easier. Okay,
I'll tell you what. Don't shoot me. She's already trying to show.
We're not doing that because this is supposed to be tough. It's like the lottery. They say, "Hey, let me give you a number and you guess the rest."
I'm gonna do it.
Let's not.
Let me do it.
Let's not.
Please.
No.
Please.
Why would you do this?
Because with Nadal out, it's going to be that much more difficult, right? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. If you can predict the men's finals and women's finals, okay, and one of the 2 winners, just one of the 2, not both, will give you that $200. So this is a one-time thing for this major with Nadal being out. And even then, and you can poll question this. Can you poll question this? Here's the poll question. Let's say Nadal was actually playing this French Open. Would he have won it anyway? So imagine that and answer that in the poll, and we'll read out the percentages they come across. So anyway, to win $200 cash or however, predict the men's finalists and the women's finalists and, predict both winners. But all you need to do to solidify that cash, right, is one winner. So both finalists, men's and women's, and one winner. Okay, fair enough. All right, thank me later. Anyway, if there is a tie in that competition, then what's going to break the tie is our fantasy team competition. Now, again, if you don't have the time to sit down and look at the draws and to go through them and then to kind of get to your, finals, whatever, don't worry about it. The thing is, though, if you have the same finals predictions as someone else and someone else just pencil whipped something, then that person is going to win because they have a team and you may not. Anyway, let's move forward to the fantasy teams, and then we're going to get right into tennis topics. All right, here's how the fantasy team competition works. I'm guessing most of you have played this before or know the rules, so I'm going to kind of roll through this. And if there's any questions in the comment section of this video, please ask us. Okay? All right, the top two players or the top two people that finish 1 and 2 in this competition will win either $50 cash, so we're giving $100 out, 50 to each winner, or $100 worth of attire, strings, equipment, whatever, from one of two companies. YTEX Strings. What's up, Ivor Savage? You know, I love you, my brother. He is he's from South Africa, but lives in Savannah, Georgia. He's a wonderful human being. And he is the CEO and founder of YTEX Strings. The other company is Diadem Sports. Lovely rackets. We play with them. We switched from Babolat to them years ago. And shout out as always to Doug Mock, who is our, I was going to say more, but he's our representative from Diadem, but he's a heck of a fine man and a wonderful golfer, by the way, golf professional. Okay, golf player. The PGA Championship is on now. Are you following that?
Not really. I fall asleep watching that.
I like golf. It's difficult.
It's hard for me. I tried. I sat there. I couldn't do it.
Okay, here is how. Oh, I didn't finish that. So $50 cash, but if you decide to take equipment, attire, strings, whatever from Diadem or YTEX, we'll give you $100 value for that. So if you're a stringer like we are, right, then I probably would get like a reel of strings, and then knowing I'm going to string that many rackets anyway, you can do the math. You know, $100, $150, $200 reel of strings will, triple your value if you're using it. So that would be a no-brainer for us, right?
Correct.
I would take the reel, or we would take the reel. Okay, here's how it works. Fantasy team rules. Each player, that means you, each player must select 9 men and 9 women. Okay, so there's a total of 18 players on your fantasy team. Within those fantasy teams, you can only select maximum 4 men and 4 women seeded in the tournament within the top 20. Now, I stress seeded and not ranked. Okay, I always use the Felix Auger-Aliassime. Speaking of him, I missed the guy. We'll have to talk about him later. That's a topic. The players that are seeded within the top 20, you can only choose a maximum of 4 men and 4 women. Okay, those players will be worth 1 point for every match they win. Okay, fair enough. Okay, pretty straightforward. Okay, you can have as many players seeded outside of the top 20 as you wish, and they are worth 2 points per match win. Each person that enters this competition must choose 1 wild card or 1 qualifier, and that individual is worth 3 points per match win. Now, you could choose all your players, qualifiers, or wild cards, but there's only one that's going to get you 3 points per win. Okay, so each team, 9 people, 9 men, 9 women, maximum of 4 within that seated within the top 20. As many as you want outside the top 20, and must have 1 3-point player, i.e. wild card or qualifier. When the tournament ends, the top 2 players will win. Now, here's a shout out to Deceville Casper. He's in Poland. He is the GOAT currently on our channel here. All of you are obviously involved in that. He is the GOAT. He's won, I think, 5 or 6 majors.
I don't know.
We have sent Deceville to Poland cash. I think he was in Japan one time. I think we sent it to Japan or something, didn't we?
No.
Anyway,
New York.
He has won cash. He has won strings. He has won prizes. So if you are trying to dethrone the GOAT, you need to dethrone Deceville. Okay. What's up, Casper? Hope you're good. So If there is a tie, by the way, on the $200 match selections predicting the finalists, men's and women's, and one winner, if there's a tie, the fantasy team will break that tie, right? We haven't run into that, but it happens, right? Okay. You must submit your entries in the comment section of this video. Why? Because Gene Swart in South Africa, Thomas Chi in Canada, they need to be able to see everything to be able to reference that. And then also we would like to see it because we're competing against you. Now we do pick teams and we do play it as well. But if we were to come in, in the top 2 or something, then we would defer and we would, in other words, we're doing it to compete with you, not to win anything. Right. Mm-hmm. So if we finish, say 1 and 2, then it would be 3-4. Who gets the prize. Right. Okay. So by the way, if there is a lucky loser or one of your players that you selected pulls out, if Thomas or Gene pick this up, they do a really good job of communicating with you in the comment section here. And they'll say, hey, Medvedev pulled out. You got to replace him. So you can only make changes until the first ball is struck in the first round of the French Open, which is next Sunday. Once the first ball is struck, all entries are locked, with the exception if there's a lucky loser or someone that pulls out and taking the place of one of your players. Now, if that happens, the person that you choose to replace that person must not have already played. Okay. Got it? Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Now, there is a strategy to this. Some people will pick all 2-point players and maybe 1-point players. So some people load up on all players that are seeded outside of the top 20, and it works very well a lot. Sometimes, however, people will maximize their 1 through 20 players that are 1 point apiece, and they'll be fine as well. When the big 4, when it was Federer, Nadal, Murray, and Djokovic, right? A lot of people would always choose those 4. Right? Because they were kind of guaranteed some points, right? Mm-hmm. But now that you really just have the big 1 left, Djokovic, let's freaking go, bro. Come on. This is your tournament to win right now. Let's go, Djokovic. Let's go. Okay.
You don't even believe that yourself.
I do believe that myself.
Nah, I could tell you don't.
Well, I'm definitely not an Alcaraz fan.
I know you got to pump yourself up to say that. I don't see that happening. Not for this one.
Okay, why?
I don't know. He doesn't look like he usually does. He doesn't look like the fighter he usually is.
Can you define that? Can you elaborate a little bit?
He looks beatable.
Why?
He looks beatable like Federer looked beatable when he was going downhill, and like Rafa has looked lately.
Okay, fair enough.
We're
going to talk about.
He doesn't look like the same Djokovic.
We're going to talk about that as a topic very soon. Okay, so submit your teams here in the comment section. Okay, so submit them here. So if we get down to the nitty gritty, we can see the matches we want to hope to win or lose and so forth. So you must submit your finals predictions and your fantasy team here on this video in the comments section. Okay, fair enough. Mm-hmm. I think our maximum amount of players we've ever had is like 32. I think 32 players that actually did their fantasy teams and actually did their finals predictions. And a lot of times we've had something like 50 or 60 people that just do the cash giveaway. Yeah. But the thing is, if there's a tie, it's you have no chance if whoever you tied with didn't pick a team, right?
So Gene said there's another issue with Djokovic. His tennis center got shut down in Serbia because of some political issues in the country.
Okay. Now we do have a topic coming up.
Does that hurt him financially? Maybe that's, I don't know. He just doesn't look like his normal self.
Well, he's $100 million plus athlete. I don't think it's going to really hurt him too much in terms of economics.
Ego?
I don't know. I know that Nadal is 1 major ahead of him, and I can.
No, they're tied.
Oh, they are tied.
Yeah.
I thought he was 1 ahead.
No, they're tied.
Okay, well, he's gonna get that. Okay, and I hope he does, because I don't want to see Nadal picking his ass anymore. He's got stink finger. You know his finger stinks. Okay, there is a strategy again to doing this. A lot of people.
Shit he says. So you don't want to see someone pick their ass, but you don't mind someone scratching their balls or picking their nose.
Could you
smashing?
Could you imagine if I stuck my finger in my butt and then walked up to you after the match and shook your hand? Would that be comfortable for you?
Wait, there's pants involved.
It doesn't matter, but there's that butt sweat that comes through the pants.
You're telling me as a person, as a human being, when you're playing tennis, you're not sweating all nasty.
Yes, but it did come on my rear end. but come on, man. I might wipe my sweat off like Federer,
come on
wipe
now.
the sweat off.
Oh, come on.
But I didn't stick it in my butt first.
Come on.
All right. He
Yeah.
needs to stop.
I saw Medvedev pick his wedgie today twice.
By the way, Medvedev's beard. Can you poll question this?
He looks like
Okay, here's a poll question.
He looks like he came from Jerusalem back in those days.
Yeah.
When Moses was trying to free the slaves. That's what it looked like in the movie, you know?
Yeah.
He looked like that to me.
Yeah. Here's a poll question. Do you like Medvedev's beard? Yes or no? Okay. Anyway, so I already said that. So there's a strategy to the game. Some people will maximize 1-point players and some people won't. And then it's just a matter of if you maximize your 1-point players, whether or not they make it to the semifinals when there's 4 left. Anyway, so in ending, I'm going to give you, and I pencil whip this in like 2 seconds just to show you how quickly you can come up with the team. So I wrote this out.
Who said yes?
And
my gosh.
I'm going to show you. It's got to be Rahesh.
No.
Okay. See how this looks?
Oh my God.
Okay.
Looks awful.
So in the top section, I have my finals predictions and the winner. Okay. The bottom section, I have my 1-point players, 1-point players. I have my 2-point players, and then I have my wild card or qualifier. Okay. So when Gene and Thomas see this, we used to do this by hand for years, right? Mm-hmm. And we know how difficult it can be. And these guys are doing it honestly, admirably. They created a program to keep up with this stuff. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I pencil whip this, wait till the draws come out because it may not even happen anyway based upon the draws. I chose Djokovic versus Rune with Djokovic winning, and I chose Swiatek versus Rybakina with Swiatek winning. Again, I haven't seen the draws. They could end up on the same side of the draw.
So apparently he's number 3 now because of Medvedev's win.
Okay. So on a pencil whipped fantasy team, I have my 1-point players, Djokovic, Rune, Alcaraz. My 2-point players, Korda, Struff, Davidovich, Fokina, Ben Shelton, and Bautista Agut. And then I slid Fognini in there as my wild card or qualifier. Again, he's outside the top 100, so I just said, okay, if he doesn't get invited, then he could probably come in as a wild card. That's the only reason why I put that there. On my women's side, again, pencil whip, no research whatsoever. Names off the top: Swiatek, Rybakina, my 1- and 2-point players. Simona Halep, my 1-point players. Now for my 2-point players, Simona Halep, and we have a topic about her. With her second accusation of performance-enhancing drugs. We have a topic about that. Camila Giorgi, Badosa, Sloane Stevens, Danielle Collins, Leylah Fernandez, my 2-point players, and my 3-point player. Again, I read an article about her at the same point in time I was reading about Halep today, and that's Yastremska. She went through the same thing. Okay, fair enough. That would be my 3-point player. Okay, so anyway, try your best to give your teams in this type of format in comments so Gene and Thomas don't have to stay up all night messaging you, hey, fix this, fix that. Anyway, good luck to everyone. We plan to win. Remember, we won't win our own prizes, but we play to win. Okay. All right. Topic number 1, timestamp 23 minutes in. So we'll put that later so people don't have to listen to that stuff. Okay. Topic number 1. There is a continuous snubbing of handshakes now, especially in the women's game after the match is completed because of the special military operation or war that you see in Ukraine. Okay, continuous. It's endless. Especially, who's the girl that no matter what always snubs everybody's handshakes, or the other way around? What's her name? She's I think a Russian player, and she won't. Is it Kostyuk?
Yes, Kostyuk.
Okay. Yeah. So what are your thoughts, Carla?
I think it's stupid. Like, so Kalinina played against Kudermetova and refused to shake her hand because Kudermetova is Russian. Yet she played Rybakina, who was born in Russia, but I guess she had no problem with her consoling her after her injury, and she had to retire, which made no sense to me. And they asked her, why didn't you shake Kudermetova's hand? She said, well, she's from Russia. And yes, this is about politics. They're killing Ukrainians, and this is war and blah blah blah. I mean, I just thought, well, I'm like, it's not her fault that she was born in Russia. She might not agree with what's going on. She doesn't have a choice. You know, it's like if somebody came to me and said, "Oh, you're American, so I don't like you because you killed so many people in Vietnam or
Iraq or
yes,
Afghanistan
exactly.
or whatever."
I think it's stupid.
Yeah, and that's a great way to put forth. Like I don't walk down the street and meet someone that is a grandchild to someone that was born in Iraq and have them say, you know, "Oh, you're American, I hate you." It's kind of it's a shit sandwich, right?
Can you imagine if we hated all the Germans because of what they did, you know, to all the Jewish back in the day in the Holocaust?
Yeah.
I mean, that would be crazy. That's the same thing. Or like if American Indians hated us because of what happened to them, you know?
Yeah.
It's real crazy. Or same thing with the British and the American, you know? There's a lot of stuff there. There's always wars and there's always history, you know, between different cultures, different countries.
Yeah.
I don't think you can hate somebody because of that.
There was a quote, and I forget who said this, philosopher somewhere down the line, that only the dead have seen the end of war. Right? It's the human way. We're always, you know, battling, right? That could change, but unless the entire human race changes, then it's going to stay kind of the same, which leads me to my second quote. The more things change, the more things stay the same, right? There's nothing new underneath the sun. That's the way it is. But Plato said it the best. Quote, "Be kind because everyone you meet is fighting a tough battle." And I think that's a fair statement, right? We have that written at the club. We have that on a board in the pro shop, right? It's important to understand that and don't just talk the talk, actually walk that walk, okay? The Ukraine Russian war, we're not geopoliticians here, but it's more than just a war. It's more of a battle between good and bad, east, west. It's more to it than just Ukraine. But I can assure you that whether it's Kostyuk or whether it's Rabikina or whether it's Sharapova, whatever, that these young men and women that are playing could more or less not particularly care so much about the war, and they just want to play tennis. So I don't think there's any reason to snub the handshake because, you know, you battled it out on the court, right? You earned their respect because they battled with you. At least go shake the hands of the net and leave politics and drama out of the tennis match because it just doesn't look very good. Okay. Poll question answer. 70% of you have indicated that you prefer or like Daniil Medvedev's beard. Carla, what are your personal thoughts as a woman?
I don't like it.
Why?
It makes him look older.
Like Santa Claus, maybe?
No, just older. He doesn't look Russian anymore with the beard.
What is that? Then his beard makes him what? What does he look now?
He could be somewhere else.
That's kind of odd.
No, he don't look so Russian anymore.
So you're saying you stereotype all Russians to not look like a beard?
He's got tan skin now, so it's like a little bit tanner with the facial hair. He looks darker. That's what I mean.
He got a tan. And his hair got darker.
Yes, he looked darker to me. Like I was like, wait a minute. I was like, his hair's darker. I said, he looked like he has a tan. He looked like, you know, he could maybe be Middle Eastern, maybe.
He looked pretty good.
Maybe.
Okay.
No, he did not look good.
So
there's no women out there that like that to rub on that scrub. I'm just saying.
For all you ladies out there, is there not one hottie out there that you like that has a beard? Come on. Give me one.
They can have a little bit of hair, but not all over them.
She loves Gerard Butler. Have you ever seen him with the beard?
Yes.
Was he still hot then for you?
Yeah, he was right.
See, hypocrite. Okay, I'm gonna read this comment from Jesus. What's up, Jesus? I think Jesus is.
What about his dance moves? I haven't seen him.
Who?
What about his dance moves? Where he's crossing his legs like him?
Like me?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Before it disappears, I'm gonna read Jesus's comment, and I think we sent him strings recently to like Mexico, didn't we? Anyway, okay, Jesus says, quote, "Athletes should act as a public voice for peace and understanding." Can't say it any better than that, right? That's it. You got millions of people watching you, following your statistics, etc. The last thing you want to do is just blow everything up because you say they're from somewhere. Now, I don't think Daniil Medvedev, by the way, he's Russian, but I don't think he actually resides there. I think he resides in like Monte Carlo or something like that.
Monaco, something.
But you notice that no one snubs Daniil Medvedev's handshake. So is it just a girl thing?
He'll F him up. That's why. I mean, he effed up Tsitsipas.
You remember that, huh?
No, just recent. Like, I'm shocked that he beat Tsitsipas on clay.
Didn't they almost get an altercation before?
That's a while ago, but he spanked him. Like, he owns him now. He's his daddy.
It's a good point.
Poor Tsitsipas, man. He would just never reach his goal. The goal that he could have, attained. I don't know.
Do you think Tsitsipas will ever win that maiden major?
No, it's getting tough for him.
Do you think his one-handed backhand playing in the world of increasing topspin high to the backhand side causes him issues like it did for Federer when Nadal came around?
Good question. Well, that's a question you should ask yourself. Why are we teaching Justin a one-handed backhand?
Our youngest son, by the way, Justin Jr. is 7. He played a tournament, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, and he won it outright. I think I have a picture of that, by the way. Now, I take that with a grain of salt because he had to use these cheesy, like squishy balls, or not squishy. It's like a lower pressure ball. But we train him on a full court with regular balls with a regular size adult racket, and he's 7, and he still beats anyone that wants to come hit with him at his age, or even 10, 12 and under. He still beats them. Let me show you a picture because I'm pretty proud of that. Okay. Here's Justino right here. 7-year-old. He's the little guy. And then the 10-year-old's on the other side, but little man's got that #1 trophy though. Okay. Didn't drop a set, by the way, right? Did not drop a set. I think there was a young man that was actually pretty good. I forgot what his name was anyway, but that was his closest battle. So good for him. Also, while we're speaking about that, Liliana, who is our middle child of 5, played the same tournament, and she lost a tight semifinal to a really good player. Or no, the final. She made the final and then lost in the final. So this is her second place picture. Such a beautiful girl, strong like her mama. So, and then lastly, Gabriella, our 10-year-old, played her second tournament ever, lost a 3-set match in the semifinal to the girl that had won it the year prior. And then we both said during that match, whoever wins this match will win the tournament. So Gabriella had a match point. It didn't convert. But nonetheless, she played a really good semifinal, and the girl that she battled that semifinal out with, the previous year's champion, won the final like 1-1 or something. So it was a really, really, really nice event. And here's Gabriella out there in her Wimbledon-esque type attire. Okay, so good job for them. Okay, anyway, let's shift gears to Rafael Nadal. Okay, Rafael Nadal, as you all know, is not playing the French Open. Okay, question: if he was, would he have won it anyway?
Not if he looked, well, I don't know. If he was not injured, yes, obviously. But he has not been injury-free since the Australian Open. Hip injury, which is tough.
Ask Andy Murray.
Ryan messaged me. I guess he had surgery in his hip. I didn't know that. And he said, I've never been the same. It'll be very tough for Nadal to come back from that. He said his movement has never been the same after that injury.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't blame him for not playing the French Open. You don't want to go down to just anybody. You want to be 100%. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, don't play. If I were him and I feel like my body can never recover again, I would not play, and I would just retire from tennis. He has nothing else to prove with all the slams he has. You know, there's what else? He should be happy of everything he accomplished.
And he's got a child now.
And he's got a child. And what more can you want in life? You're married, you have a child, you have an academy, a legacy, a brand. Mm-hmm. He's good.
So we speak about pro players with children. Why is it that some of these greats, tennis greats, and they have children, why is it that their children never really, there's a few and far between that have, but why is it that the children of the greats never actually do anything in the game? Why do you think that's so?
They're not hungry. They don't need to be. They can pick some other passion. It's tough to be daddy or mommy at something that they were good at.
Mm-hmm.
So why not pick a different sport or something else that you can be better at?
Yeah.
Than they were.
I agree totally.
Yeah.
And when you have deep pockets, look at Roger Federer. I think he's over $1 billion. That's what the B, over $1 billion of net worth. I think kind of the mindset is, why would I want my child to go through the shit that I went through when they already have the financing anyway for whatever they want for the rest of their life,
Right.
which leads back to your comment about being hungry. Why is American tennis so weak these days? Because most Americans, not all, most Americans are lazy. And they don't give a shit about nothing except themselves. Now, I'm not classifying every American as that way, but it seems to be the case. And we have a lot of international friends, a lot of you are here, that say the same thing, right? So ask yourself this question: why is American tennis so weak? Now, I'm not pointing the finger at anyone, and I know you're along with me on this one, but there are coaches that are around, not just this area, but around the United States, that tell people to kill the ball within 3 shots. Doesn't matter what you're playing. Kill the ball within 3 shots. We have people that come to us for a lesson, and supposedly they've been playing the game for 3-4 years, a couple times a week, and they still are pitter-patting the serve, right, with a semi-Western grip, flopping it over. They still have 2 hands on the racket at the net for volleys. And it's almost disgusting, right?
It is.
Like, is there any man or woman on the WTA or ATP tour currently that has a 2-handed backhand volley at the net? Can you tell me one? I don't know. But we see this time and time again, not just here. We've taught in Vermont and California and Virginia. And anyway, it is almost despicable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyway.
That's an American. There's an American.
Who is?
No. Jesus said there's an American.
Yeah, he knows. He's international. Jesus, did you ever try those strings that we sent you?
He never got them.
What? Send them back to him. Send him another.
I send it to him in the same way, blah, blah, that I do. It never got delivered to him.
Send him another set or 2 sets.
He's going to have to send
We're going to send that back. Jesus, we're
going to try again.
Yeah, we're going to send that again. Does he contact us personally?
Yeah, he has my email.
Okay, Jesus, give us your information again, and we're going to send that back to you. I didn't know that. I just
I don't think he ever got it. Like, I don't know. I always hate shipping stuff to Central America. It is so corrupt over there. And then the mail never gets there. I've sent a million things to my grandparents and they would never get it. So.
Oh, he said he got them.
You got them? Well, got lucky because it was months where I think you and I emailed each other. Well, thank God.
Let's go, Jesus. And if those strings break or you wrap up with them, whatever, we'll send you more. No problem. And you can thank Ivor Savage, the CEO and owner of YTEX, for that. And he's a passionate man that has been with us and us with him, vice versa, since day one of both. Okay. He's a great dude. Anyway, so back to Nadal for a moment. Personally, I do not think he would have won it either way, healthy or not.
Healthy, I think he would have.
I don't think so. Not at this point in his career. Not because of age, as you just said. And this young man, Alcaraz, I'm not a huge fan because when he hits the ball, he sounds like a cow getting pounded in the pasture. Have no interest in that. But
wait. Have you watched this?
Who?
You say he sounds like a cow.
Yeah.
Have you watched a cow before?
Well, okay.
You act like. You.
All right. So my dad, my dad, if he makes a comment, it'll say William Davis, and my mom's already in there. I see my mom, Anna Davis, in there. Very beyond proud of my talented and awesome grandchildren. That's right. If it wasn't for her, they wouldn't be here in the first place. So, when I was in Hemet, California, and my mom is on here. So we lived in Southern California, and during the summers, my father would take me to a cattle auction. Okay. So our job is to go from 5 cows or bulls into one section, and then to get one out of these 3 and put them in the ring so the auctioneer could start bidding on them. Right. So when we would kind of reduce the pack of cattle to a smaller pack of cattle, and then ultimately take one out of there and send that cow or bull into the ring, they would sound like Alcaraz when he's hitting. You're like, get in there, you're prodding him with the damn, what do they call, like a shocking thing? Get in there. And they're like, meh, meh. Sounds like damn Alcaraz, so I'm not a fan. As you all know, there's no need to grunt. No need to grunt.
Oh my God.
There's no need. So you brought a guest on.
Oh, you made that sound really good.
Yeah. Freaking sheep. Drop shot. Shut up. Anyway, all right. The current guest.
Oh my God.
The current guest is Jax. By the way, this is Jax. We found him at a day old at the tennis courts, right? And here he is. He's still there.
You are, little man.
All right, so here let's do a poll question. By the way, can we do a poll question?
He's like, what the hell is going on?
Can we do a poll question?
Sure.
Will Rafael Nadal win another major?
All right.
Okay, will Rafael Nadal win another major? If not, then what's the point of guaranteeing he's going to play one more year? Maybe he wants to play the French again, but he can't now healthy,
Right.
or not healthy.
Correct.
But I don't think he makes another major semifinal, much less win one. So poll question: does Rafael Nadal win another major? I don't think so. Number two, I don't think if he was even healthy playing this major that he would win it either way. But that's debatable. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Last question pertaining.
Shoot. Does he have stuck on eyes that really popping? Yeah. He's like, what is going on? He's like, what is going on here?
You want to sit in for a
He's
second?
like scared.
Here, come
He's like
sit in for
scared.
a
He's
second.
like, oh my
I keep
God.
bumping this thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you can sit down.
Look at him. He's like, when he gets upset, he'll show you teeth.
Yeah.
He's like, oh.
All right, so this is Carla Jr. This is our middle child, Liliana. So we'll ask her a question. This is straight off the top. Didn't prepare for this because I asked earlier and you said no, but she's a superstar anyway. Okay, so here's my question for you, Lily. Lily recently has been working with someone besides mom and dad on the tennis court. Fine young lady. She's from Turkey. Her name's Kaya. Really nice young lady. So Lily, my question to you is, in the past week since we have began this having another coach, do you feel any more positive or negative about your progression moving forward? And why? Go.
I feel like I knew this before, but I feel like I know I have to work a lot harder if I want to do better in tennis, win tournaments, do anything, advance. But I already knew that, but this has just proved that to me more. And that I can actually play well if I just push myself to do it.
So do you like her better than us? I'm guessing you do. And that's fine. Yeah. I mean, I don't have a problem with you saying that. I mean, I had many coaches and I never listened to my dad, and that's just life. I think all of you guys who are parents out there and those of you who have parents, I think if your parents said something or vice versa, that you don't listen to them, even if they're telling you the same thing. Right? Jean and all of you guys?
All right. So next question.
Mm-hmm.
When we teach our own kids, and we know because our parents taught us, or at least for the most part, and then we gravitated into having coaches and so forth. So my mom's out there. I know my dad will watch this eventually. What was it, mom and dad? And what was it, Lily? Because we're mom and dad. What was it, or what is the reason why you feel like you're more receptive to them now rather than us, even though they are telling you the same thing that we have told you since you were like 4 years old? 6, whatever. Okay, why? What's the difference?
It's just easier to listen to. I mean, when it's coming from your parents, everything just sounds more
Charlie Brown?
enforcing, more. It's always in your ear, tune it out. It's like at school, you listen to the teachers because that's what you're supposed to do. But when it's your parents, you feel more inclined to disobey.
Very good vernacular there, by the way. So is it true or not true that when you raise your kids and you're teaching them, you get so burnt out on hearing them tell you to do this, tell you to do that? So when it comes time to play a game, you're just like, man, I don't even want to hear this, even though we're saying the same thing that other coaches say. Is that right?
Yeah.
So you're a rebellious young lady as well as most other kids, correct? Okay.
He's looking like
So-
he mess us up.
Liliana, by the way, recently, we said this earlier, just made a final of a tournament and lost in a third set tiebreaker. Okay. During that final, you were very not confident in hitting your forehand. I think there was a couple shots early in the tiebreaker in the third set that you missed a couple, and I feel like you just kind of gave it up at that point. So my question to you is this, with an honest answer. Do you think if you played that match again, now that you have kind of, I guess for the short term at least, corrected that forehand, do you think there would have been different results?
Yes.
Okay. If you meet that player again, I've told her if she meets that player again and beats her, I'll give her $1,000. I kid you not. Swear. Do you think if you played her again, given what we've worked on for the past couple of weeks, not only with us, but with Kaya, do you think you would dominate that match?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's go. Okay. Anyway, last question for you, Lily. Okay. Liliana, by the way, next year is going into the 9th grade at Murphy High School in Mobile. I went to work Murphy. My older sister went to Murphy. And now here goes Lily into Murphy High School. Okay. Wonderful school, wonderful coaches. Shout out to George Gates out there, the current coach of the team as well. Shout out to Dale Falkenberry, who is an icon in this area. An amazing coach, an amazing young lady that comes out and works out with us a lot, right? So, Lily, my question to you is, are you excited about this this endeavor that you're about to entertain? Getting into high school, and you have a lot of years of legacy in front of you that are looking back at you. What are your thoughts about venturing into high school tennis starting in the next couple of weeks? I think we're going to be working with the Murphy team as well, once again, with the St. Paul's team. I think we're working with their doubles team again. Anyway, what are your thoughts moving forward in your high school for your tennis?
For tennis, I mean, I know things are going to get harder. It's going to be, I'm going to meet harder players. I'm growing up as higher age levels, harder players. But I think with the tennis team, I'll be able to have more fun in my tennis career or high school.
Ooh, I
But-
hope you say college one day.
Not
Freaking twins
Never
right
know.
here.
Never know.
Twins. It's like Carla Jr. Carla Jr. All right. Last thing, and then I'll let you go. Okay. You do a lot of things besides playing tennis, right? Music. You like the Scholars Bowl type thing, which hopefully you do next year. Besides tennis, what would be your next passion? Or let me take that back. Maybe tennis isn't your passion at all, and you just do it because we, make you. Otherwise, we'll be really upset. Anyway, what would be your second passion, or truly your first passion outside of tennis?
anything in
Anything.
musical, anything, instruments, singing, theater, acting, stuff like that.
All right. Well, Lily, muchas gracias, señorita. She's our lovely lady. She's a soldier too, and she's seen a thing or two. She's a good girl. Okay. Does anyone have a question for Lily before she moves on? Anyone have a question? Okay. If not live now, just put it in the comments and we'll ask her on the next show. Okay. All right. Adios, muchacha. That was very good. Good job, Lily. All right. Moving forward.
Success for Life says Sissipas is Bernard Tomic 2.0 when it comes to parent coaching. I mean, you have to realize as a parent, could you really take him to pro tennis? What could you do for them there? I would think at that point you would have to say, I can't help him anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have to realize that.
Because of the rebellious thing. The other day, Carla and I were reading an article and then followed up by watching a video about it, or actually it was a live interview with Patrick Mouratoglou. And I think a lot of you know who Patrick Mouratoglou is. He is and I will say he's a fine coach. He speaks well. He presents himself well. He's clean cut. But we were reading this article that Patrick Mouratoglou charged $5,000 US or euro, whatever, not 5,000 rubles or whatever, or pesos, 5,000 US or euro type dollars for 1 hour of lessons. Wow. Could you imagine paying someone $5,000 an hour? We pay our rate. There's two of us. Our rate's $45 or $55 if you're not a member.
No, but we
$5
don't.
grand.
We don't teach together. Not anymore.
Sometimes.
No, I don't even like teaching together anymore. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't enjoy it because we teach so much. It's like you don't need me there, and I don't need you there.
Yeah.
Let's just spread it out. Just easier that way.
So anyway, first of all, would you ever pay $5,000 for an hour for anyone to coach anybody?
No, I don't care if it's Djokovic on the other side, Nadal, Federer. No,
Yeah,
there's nothing you're gonna tell them that.
Yeah,
nothing.
You're not paying that type of money for the coaching. You're paying it to be selfish and to take a selfie next to the guy so you can say, "Oh, hey, I took a picture with this guy." Anyway. Every time we watch his coaching clips, we ask ourselves, wait a minute, this is the same thing we say every day, right? Same thing, hit the ball out front, have variety. Don't just try to kill the ball all the time. Mix it up, have more tools in your tennis toolbox besides just whacking the ball. And I go back to what we were saying earlier. There is multiple coaches in this United States that we've coached with that all have different kind of mindsets, which is a good thing. But there is a handful of coaches here that say you have to kill the ball within 3 shots. And it's not conducive to being an overall good player. And I think we've proved that by beating all of those students that do that for years now.
So that's what I said. Poor Rune is paying him that much.
$5,000 an hour.
That's a lot.
That's insane. Okay. So anyway, $5,000 an hour is crazy. It's not even realistic. If you're Radhikant, who the hell, we got to talk about her here in a minute. Because we brought up though Patrick Mouratoglou, let's talk about Simona Halep for a moment. Okay. Simona Halep, as you all know, is a fine human being, a wonderful player. But recently, within the past year, I think, she had some performance enhancing drugs allegations. Okay. Just the other day, we came across information that Simona Halep was now accused of a second infraction, but I think it still had to do with that first series of tests, right? So I bring up Patrick Mouratoglou because he released a statement about Simona Halep. So I'm going to read you the statement. Okay. So this is from Patrick Mouratoglou. Here's a statement. Okay. Pertaining to Simona Halep. He says, first of all, I want to say that I had planned to stay away from any public comments on Simona Halep's case, as I truly believed that the ITIA would conduct a fair investigation to establish the truth. The fact that I don't have the same feeling at all now is disturbing, and finally brought me to write these few words. I have been lucky to meet Simona Halep in April of 2022, and we have worked together since then. I want to say a few words about her for those that haven't ever met her. I discovered in Simona a very rare person. She is very kind. She is very sweet. She feels no aggressiveness or jealousy towards anybody. She has devoted all her life to tennis. It is a childhood passion, not her father's, not her mother's, only hers. That's pretty poignant there. It's evidence that she has received the best education filled with extremely strong values that she keeps inside herself. Okay. He's building character.
Yeah, he's building character.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And I do like the fact that he mentions this isn't her mom's dream or dad's dream. It's hers. Now, what do we mean by that? How many times, Carla, have we been around parents where the parents are so involved in tennis and you can tell that the kids, they're just doing it because they have to type thing, and it really inhibits their progress. Okay. So one thing that Carla and I do to make sure we keep our children engaged is we have a rewards, kind of an operant conditioning or a classical conditioning type setting. So kind of a psychological thing. Our little guy, let's use Justin Jr. for a minute. The little guy, the 7-year-old, we showed you the picture earlier that won a tournament last time. He loves the game, really loves it, but we don't want him to get burnt out, right? So when he wakes up in the morning at 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning to go to school, the first word out of his mouth, are we going to the tennis court? And okay, that type of thing. But eventually, or it can burn out, right? People get tired of it. So how do we keep it to where it stays their passion? Okay. For him, he doesn't lose very often, even at his young age. But what if he gets burnt out of winning? That happens too, right? We do a rewards type process. Okay, let's say Justin wants, and we don't do cell phones for the kids or video games, whatever. But he loves little things in the house to play sports with. Like today, I bought him a basketball goal that was Nerf that I could hang on the wall, right? And I told him if he had a good workout the other day, that I would get him that indoor basketball kit. Now, when I was a kid in California, my dad, when he was writing his book, I had this big cardboard box, and I would cut a hole in the top and wad up some socks and play basketball, shooting the sock into the box. I know my mom will remember that. So Justin did very well training yesterday, and I bought him his Nerf indoor basketball kit today, right? For him, it's priceless. For me, it was $9. So it's pretty fair trade, right? So if you can find things that will reward positive energy, and then if they do something that's negative, there are no rewards, and you don't spoil them with things without. In other words, if I give my kid a cell phone right now, which I'll never do, or two oldest boys at the Air Force Academy never had a cell phone ever until they were a senior in high school. One junior, one senior. But when Christopher got his as a junior, I told him he must win one tournament. Was it 2 years in a row or 3 years in a row?
I don't know.
Right? So
long ago.
It makes them work for that. Anyway, think about the rewards, and then don't give them things if they haven't done well.
Yeah, he's loving also his lesson.
Who is?
I think
Akaya?
I think he prefers being coached by her than us.
Right. And why do you think that is? Because he hears mom and dad barking him out all the time. Hey, clean up your room. Shut up. Wash your hair.
Because he's like, can I do an hour and a half instead with her?
Yeah.
He's like, that's not fair, Lily. Gets an hour and a half.
And she's got great energy too. So really good. And you can tell she's a fighter. She's seen a couple things in her life. Okay. Enough about Patrick Moratzoglu. Back to Halep.
Yeah. It said here in this article, I was reading it. Oh, there's my little baby cat. It says, suspended double Grand Slam champion Simona Halep is charged with a second doping offense over irregularities in her athlete biological passport, as she responds by accusing the tennis chiefs of harassment in a Fury statement.
Nerf should pay me for this.
Yeah. So, I mean, here she is being given a second. I mean, I just don't get it. She's been suspended since last year of October. Tested positive for roxadustat at the U.S. Open. But she's saying there were 3 people that tested her blood, and I don't know. I don't know where she goes from this. She's 31, 32?
Something like that. And, Yastremska.
So her career is pretty much close. It's very close to an end.
Yastremska had the same type of thing. And when
I think hers was a little bit more serious, I thought.
They're both pretty serious. When the ITIA calls you out for an infraction of performance enhancing drugs, it's pretty serious, especially when you're a global superstar and people read that. I tell you something else that's bothered me, and we're a tennis channel and family, but I love basketball, right? But played basketball since very young. Anyway, loved the sport. Like when you shoot a shot, and you let that shot go, it's like your hands got to be loose and free. But you hit the top spin, the backhand, you want to be loose and free the same. Anyway, there's a lot of correlation between footwork in basketball, hitting shots, and then shooting the ball. Anyway, John Morant is an NBA, National Basketball Association, NBA player, fine player. I mean, he's got hops like Jordan, if not more so. He could be absolutely dominating and really kind of does when he can stay out of trouble. So John Morant is currently losing tens of millions of dollars in sponsorships because he tends to pull out a firearm every time he gets caught on video. So I ask myself, who in the hell is in John Morant's corner? Who is his coach? Is it dad? if that's the case, Dad needs to go, huck rocks. I think Shannon Sharp, the Hall of Fame tight end, right, for the NFL, I think Shannon Sharp in, I think, Lakers arena when they were playing Lakers in the regular season, I think Shannon Sharp was even dissing his dad. Like, what are you doing, man? This kid's a brilliant superstar. You're thugging him out. It's like, what are you doing? Anyway, I ask myself this question in relation to Simona Halep. Who the hell is in her corner? Is it just Patrick Mouratoglou? Now, why is this alarming me even more? Now, Sasha Bajin, the ex-hitting partner of Serena and the ex-coach of Yastremska, got nailed for the same thing. So Sasha Bajin is a prodigy of the Mouratoglou, right? So tit for tat, Yastremska, Halep. Now, so we got Bajin, we got Halep, we got Yastremska, we got Patrick, now we've gotten multiple accusations of cheating the system. And yeah, you could say, well, Yastremska wasn't coached by Mouratoglou. Well, Sasha Bajin was his prodigy, right? Patrick Mouratoglou was working with Serena, and Sasha was working as her hitting partner. And Yastremska takes a hit, and now Halep takes a second hit. You got to scratch your head like, what the fuck?
That's for Life says, isn't Halep a billionaire now? Why does she want to come back at her age?
Good point.
I think more like she wants to clear her name. Nobody wants to go out as a cheater.
Good point.
I mean, nobody wants to go out as a cheater. For that to stay in her name, it tarnishes her whole. And people will doubt her. Well, wow, you won a couple of slams. So did you cheat?
Yeah,
I'm sure she wants to get her name cleared up. I don't even think it's about her playing tennis, but about making sure that it's clear.
Agree.
I mean, Sharapova left with, she came back, but when she came back, she was never the same.
Different, right?
She was different, which makes you question,
what's going on here?
Yes.
Now,
correct.
tennis is very mental. Look, okay, I'll use myself as an example. A couple of years ago, I was playing Carla in a match. I jumped up for an overhead. I came down wrong, and my leg snapped, and I ruptured my patellar tendon, right? Anyway, fast forward from that. But every time I walk on the court now and an overhead goes over my head, I'm like, fuck it. Oh, excuse my language. I'm just going to let it go because I'm not going through that again, right?
Right.
So what I'm getting at is sometimes in the mental intensity of tennis, sometimes little things happen. And then when we're presented in that situation again, we don't do it because we're scared of what the outcome might be. Now, by the way, I'm going to read a comment here. It's like 5 words from Ivan or Ivan. I'm here for the drama. Let's go. That's absolutely right. I'm here for the drama too. Let's go, bro. Thank you for the comment. I haven't seen that name before, so welcome to the crew. Anyway, Simona Halep, would she have won the French Open anyway?
No, that has nothing to do with that. She's been out of it for a while. It has to do with that her name is tarnished, Justin.
Mm-hmm.
That's like if someone accused you of something, like you cheated in order to get into a certain spot.
How many times have I been accused of stuff in my life? A ton.
Okay, this is not about you. I'm just saying, though, you as a human being, if you know it's not true, you want to get your name cleared, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's what she's doing. I don't think that she thinks in her head she can come back and win. I think it's too late for that.
All right, Carla, so personal question. This has nothing to do with pen and paper and business and facts. This is a question for you, an opinionated question. Mm-hmm. Do you like Simona Halep?
As a person, yes.
As a person and a player?
As a player, never liked her.
Why don't you like her as a player?
The grunting, I can't do.
Okay. Maybe she's so defensive?
She's too defensive.
But isn't Nadal your boy the same way?
But he's a little bit more powerful. I felt like Simona played too many points. Like too many points that could have ended. And like the grunts, I can't do. And she's just not, she was never like, that's not the type of game I like in tennis, I prefer watching
Kvitova,
Serena
maybe?
play, Kvitova play, Henin play, Osaka play. I like, I'm not saying end the points quick, but if they had something short or they put it away, and it made sense. Like, why kill your body, especially a small body, to win just a point? That's a lot. It's like this clinic we have. The whole reason that clinic, I'm not going to say the name, but the whole reason that clinic is set is for you to be more aggressive. Otherwise, you were just winning point and point at a time. Mm-hmm. Same in tennis.
When we retrieve balls all the time and we take an extra, 27 steps just to end a point, we could have ended at that first short ball you got. We add wear and tear, right?
Correct. And it hurts. And now at my age, I'm feeling when wear and tear on my knees. So yeah, definitely. You want to end the point. when you have the opportunity.
One of the reasons why, for all of our kids, but especially our youngest three, Liliana, Gabriella, Justin, why we teach them a lot of defense, at least here in this area, is because we know that a couple people that tend to think that they teach the best of the best when you really don't. Because we know they are taught to smoke the ball within 3 shots. We know that. We've heard it. We've been on the sidelines incognito in the woods, and we've heard it. Kill the ball within 3 shots. Okay, so what do we do? We take our kids and students out and feed them ball after ball after ball after ball after ball after ball after ball. And we say, give them another ball to hit. Because a lot of these young players, especially here, they get out there and they're conditioned, they're brainwashed into thinking by the 3rd ball, I got to cram the ball, even if I hit it to the fence. And I think we saw it. No need to mention names, but we had a 13-year-old girl. It's not our student, but we know her well and her wonderful family. I think they're Croatian, or Czech Republic or something. This 13-year-old player destroyed this 17 or 18-year-old player. It wasn't because the 17-year-old, 18-year-old player was any better or worse. It's that the only thing she knew was I got to kill this ball immediately. And if that's your mindset, what happens when you meet someone that can get the ball back every time? You're not going to be very consistent. And then you're going to get ruffled in your head when you don't win the point within 3 shots. So when you meet a player like that, give them another ball to hit. Make a move to get it. Don't give it right back to them in their strike zone, but move them a little bit. You'll be all right. And what happened?
William Spencer said, who would have thought a couple years ago Barty, Osaka, Muguruza, Halep would have been out so soon?
Osaka's coming back.
Osaka will come back.
Osaka's coming back.
Muguruza got burned out. Muguruza should have not kept spending money on Conchita Martinez to teach her. She doesn't need someone to teach her. She just needs someone to talk to or someone to inspire her. And obviously it wasn't happening with Martinez. So she got burned out. She kept losing.
All right. So we're going to read Jack's question here. Jack, let's go. What do we think about Aryna Sabalenka currently? Okay. Now that's a big question for Carla because for years, we've done this show now for 6 years.
It's about time she wins. About time.
Okay.
But your girl Pliskova.
Okay.
But the bet was with Pliskova, not.
We bet on Sabalenka too.
No, we didn't.
We bet on Sabalenka too.
Justin. It was Pliskova.
Okay. Is Mike Walker out there? Is Gene Swart out there? Zest for Life, William Spencer, any of you brothers that have been out there since day one watching all of these?
It was Pliskova.
How many of you know and see through this bullshit that Carla and I guess you've forgotten now, but I told Carla this, and I quote, bringing out random access memory. How many of you remember me saying, Carla, Sabalenka will win a major before Naomi Osaka wins her next?
No, that was Pliskova. I thank you. Yvonne said, I think it was Pliskova. It was exactly
Pliskova. Come on, Yvonne, bro. What are you doing?
Shut it up. And the other bet I have is that with Michael Walker, that Raducanu will win a Grand Slam in 5 years. Well, it's 2022 and now 2023, and she's about to get wrist surgery.
Raducanu who? Who? Raducanu who? Who the hell is that? Raducanu who? What are you talking about?
It was Pliskova.
What you talking about, Willis?
But I didn't think Sabalenka would win a Grand Slam, but good for her.
Raducanu who?
Sabalenka, whatever. Anyways, I was watching Swiatek play Rybakina. Looked like Swiatek was going through everybody until she got to Rybakina.
Fighter.
Yeah, I'm glad. Fighter. I prefer watching Rybakina.
You think Rybakina's fired up because she's from the side of the map that everybody's dissing on? Because
I don't think she's fired up. I think she's doing it for herself.
I like Rybakina. I like her. I like her a lot.
I hate that they call her Rybakina. It just sounds like, I don't know.
She just won the U.S. Open, right?
Didn't
Rybakina just win the U.S. Open?
I thought she won.
Then she just won.
Didn't she win Wimbledon?
No, Wimbledon.
Yeah.
Then she won Wimbledon, right?
Yeah. Last year, the U.S. Open winner was Swiatek.
Yes.
And then Sabalenka won the Australian Open.
Yes. And the thing about Sabalenka, the reason why I jumped on her bandwagon, at least for this show.
And notice how they were trying to ban the Russians and all that. Here is Rybakina, even though she doesn't play for Russia, wins it. Sabalenka, Belarusian, wins the Australian Open.
And look, personally, this is just me. You can hate me or whatever, but I shoot the middle finger to anyone that is shunning a Russian tennis player because of what geopolitics is doing. Look, man, these players work their ass off. Do you think that these players from Russia are sleeping in a bed with Putin? man, they're just doing their thing, whatever. They're not in their inner circles. They're just born somewhere playing in the same game that all of us are. And you're going to shun them because, come on, man. Let's go. Let's go all Russian players. Let's go. Let's go all Ukrainian players. Let's go all players. Doesn't matter where you're born or where you're from, what your culture, creed, religion, color, doesn't matter, right? We're human beings, man. Okay, so I was born in San Francisco. San Francisco is a super expensive place to live. I don't live there anymore. Does that mean I hate San Francisco and everybody that thinks differently should hate me? So why is it that, Kostyuk is knocking every handshake? Because someone's born in Russia. Most of these players don't even live there anymore. Their family doesn't. They're in Florida or something, or Morocco or Monte Carlo. Come on, man. Tennis should not be mixed with geopolitics, and us football fans and basketball fans. Most of these players for these sports come from this area, from this country, for the most part. A few outliers. What's homeboy's name? Jokic for the Nuggets, beast. Anyway, we don't hate these people because they were born somewhere. We like them based upon performance and their craft. And for me, I don't like players that squeal like a heifer or sheep in the woods getting pounded by the big man on campus. Grunting for me is hideous. Hideous. I freaking hate it. Shut up. Anyway, but I hate people for facts, not for hypothetical facts. Okay? All right, squash that. Next topic. Is this Novak Djokovic's tournament to win? Is he the favorite? I checked the odds. Novak Djokovic is 11-10 odds favorite. So if you're going to bet
11 to 10,
11 to
That's
10.
not very high.
You got to bet $110 on Djokovic to win 100. The next favorite is Alcaraz at 5-1.
I don't think this is Djokovic's tournament. He's not the heavy favorite.
Who's going to beat him?
There's no heavy favorite.
Who has a chance to beat him?
Everybody that has already.
Alcaraz, maybe because of his raw power.
Rune has his number, right? 2-1.
Yeah, he's up to it. That's a good knowledge drop. I don't particularly care for Rune.
I don't care for Rune either. I agree. Medvedev might have a chance. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Anybody has a chance.
Could.
Anybody.
Holger Rune reminds me of Jensen Brooksby a bit. Not in their game or how they look, even though that's kind of similar, but their attitude on the court, especially to their parents, right? You got Holger Rune, Brooksby for many tournaments that are sitting on the sidelines. They might be losing and they're yelling at mom and dad, screw you, mom, screw you, dad, get out of here. Kind of like who are some other players that told their parents to get lost during a tournament on the sidelines? There was one a couple years ago. Get out of here, mom. Georgie? No,
that was Rune. You're thinking of.
Was it Rune?
Yeah.
Anybody ever that will look at their parents, if not for them, they wouldn't be here. If not for their money and support, they wouldn't be here. For anyone that sits on the sidelines and gives the mom or dad the middle finger and get lost, you know what? You should get lost, right? Unexcusable, ridiculous, right? And Holger Rune, I thought it was Brooksby, have both done this, and I think it's both, right? Who needs them? Look, I know there's two.
Spencer said anybody has a chance. Steph's name never gets mentioned. No, I don't think he has a chance.
Whose name?
Stefanos Tsitsipas. No,
because on clay the ball bites.
He plays good
slows
on clay.
The game
he
down
plays
a
good
bit.
on clay, but he's just been losing so much.
Heavy top spin.
So much.
Heavy top spin to a one-handed backhand. When you're hitting the ball from up here and not down and around, when you're hitting the ball up here, we tend to really hack at the ball. Ask Federer when he played in Nadal, right? Us one-handed players, I know I'm one of them. We tend to take the ball from up here. It's hard to hit top spin from up there with one hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Two-handers can kind of use that left hand, get on top of it, and go around.
Zest for Life says Rublev, Alcaraz, and Medvedev have each won Masters 1000 on clay this season. We're so used to seeing that Nadal or Djokovic, kind of sharing those titles.
Okay, can you put a second poll question for me?
All right. Third?
Poll question, whatever. Poll questions rock. That's why the feature's there.
Oops.
Poll question. Is this Novak Djokovic's tournament to win?
Let's just put, is he the favorite to win?
Let's go. Who is going to beat Novak Djokovic? Someone else or himself? Don't pull that, but is this Novak Djokovic's tournament to win? And you can elaborate on this in comments. is the only person that can beat Novak himself, or is there someone that's generally better than him on this surface?
There's a lot of players that are very good on this surface.
Okay, give me some names, Carla.
All the ones I already gave you, and all the Spaniards. Somebody that might surprise you from whatever country in Europe. Yes, they all play on that surface. He's beatable on this surface, especially this year.
Okay. Now, thinking about this surface, and the next topic is Andy Murray, steel hitman, replaced tip, whatever. Andy Murray pulls out of this tournament, and I think there was a lot of kind of, building journalism based upon, oh no, Andy Murray's out, blah, 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 blah. Give us clickbait to click on and read. Do any of you think that Andy Murray would have done very well at the tournament anyway? Win a round or two maybe, but do you think that Andy Murray would have done anything more than that? Now, Jesus, if he's still out there, or anyone else out there, I'm gonna throw out a question right now for 2 sets of YTEX strings or 2 sets of Diadem strings, or up to $30 US, $30 value of anything from Diadem. Go to online, diademsports.com or ytexstrings.com. Find anything out there. If you're the first person to answer this, and I will send it to you personally, or we. Here's my question. We were alarmed by breaking news when Andy Murray pulled out of this French Open. He says, quote, "I'm preparing for Wimbledon." Okay. How far did Andy Murray ever get at the French Open? What round is Andy Murray's best performance? And in that best performance round, who did he lose to? Year, who he lost to, and what round? What round? Who did he lose to? And what year? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. Reiterate it again. Who did Andy Murray lose to during his best performance ever at the French Open? The year and what round? It's a 3-spectrum question. If someone gives me that, boom, just let me know and I'll send it to you. Okay. Fair enough. Anyway, did that make you lose sleep when you realized that Andy Murray pulled out of the
No,
of the
same
French
when
Open?
Kyrgios pulled out. I didn't lose sleep.
Okay. Anyway, answer that. We'll send it. Okay. Next thing, I'm getting to the end here. Novak Djokovic.
Stan semis 2017.
No, not correct. Yes, Jesus got it. Yes, Jesus got it. Novak Djokovic beat Andy Murray for his only French Open title, 2016, against Andy Murray in the final. Jesus, you know how to get it. We'll send it to
Andy
you.
Murray won a French Open?
No, he lost to Djokovic in the final.
Oh.
Andy Murray made the French Open final in 2016, and Djokovic beat him in that final to get his French Open. Mm-hmm. Okay, great answer, Jesus. Hit up Carla. You know how to do that, and we'll send it to you at once. Okay, we have been raised in this game for the past 20 years, thinking about the big 3 or the big 2 or the big 4 or the big 5, right? If you're a big 3 fan, Djokovic, Nadal, Murray. If you're the big 4 fan, Djokovic, Murray, Nadal, Federer. If you're the big 5 fan, you can expand those 4 and add Del Potro. If you're a big 6 fan, you can expand that and add Wawrinka. Okay. Mm-hmm. Currently, you have Djokovic still in there, the last of the big 3, now the big 1. But you have Alcaraz that grunts like a stuffed pig getting pounded in the pasture. You have Holger Rune that tells everybody to get lost and treats his parents like shit. You have Medvedev, who, he's growing on me. Okay. You have Medvedev, and you have Yannick Sinner. Okay. And there's other players too. Yes. What about Sasha Zverev? Whatever. Okay. That ankle injury was devastating to his mentality. Anyway, are Novak Djokovic, Carlos Alcaraz, Holger Rune, Daniil Medvedev, and Yannick Sinner comparable to the big 5 a decade ago?
No, obviously not. They're still very young.
Okay, but I mean, Federer, when Nadal beat Federer at Wimbledon in 2008, 9, whatever, 5th set,
those guys were
dark.
different.
How old was he then?
Those guys were different species.
What makes them different?
They were spectacular. You couldn't take your eyes off of
Their
them.
fight.
Alcaraz too. He has that.
Mm-hmm.
Whether he can play like that for years and win that many slams, it's just not going to happen. No.
Okay,
that's a rare thing. We won't see that for a long time. Yeah.
So
is Novak the favorite to win French Open?
I think so.
73%.
I think so.
73% said no.
Oh, damn. So so for the 73% of you out there that said Novak Djokovic is not the favorite, who is your favorite then? I mean, I get it. I understand that, but who is
someone
that?
said it's too damp, and Djokovic is not like that.
Fair enough. I look, I'm a Djokovic fan. I think he's a better player than Nadal, and Djokovic should have that extra major to separate himself from the butt picker. And look, I like Nadal. No disrespect to him. He's a great fighter, great gladiator. He's a family man now. He's not a cheater or womanizer.
You're a ball picker. What's your point?
I don't have a fan of sticking my finger in my butt. And also he grunts really loud too.
So does Djokovic.
And I don't care for Nadal's follow through, nor have I ever. He finishes around here like this.
Yes. I agree.
Like his Uncle Tony.
I agree.
His Uncle Tony used to tell us that
you said this
don't try to mimic Nadal or my nephew, because what he does, all this stuff, it's not something that the normal person would do consistently. Okay, but he made it work. Okay. Out of these 5 players, Novak Djokovic, Carlos Alcaraz, Holger Rune, Daniil Medvedev, Jannik Sinner, and if you wish, you can throw Tsitsipas in there and whoever else. Out of those players, if you had to bet your life on it, which one would you take to win the French Open? If you had to choose out of those, no one else who would you choose out of those? And you are naive if you don't say Novak Djokovic, based upon experience, longevity, flexibility, fight, hunger, discipline, where he's from.
I'll go with Carlos Alcaraz for this one.
Crazy. No way. I get Alcaraz won the U.S. Open. But
I know that when you're 19, 20 compared to mid-30 knees, body, yeah.
All right, I'm on to my last page. Can't wait till the draw starts. Okay, we've already talked about Maratiglu, so you'll thank me for that because we don't have to go through that again.
Oh.
My thing is you always rush me through this, but when we play tennis, you're ready to battle to the very end.
It's Sunday. It's my day off, and I'm going to have to go pick up a little girl, and I still got to cook.
We got to go pick her up?
Maybe. I don't know, but, yeah.
See, this is what I deal with every day. Spanish women. It can be tough, man. Like, damn. Okay. This upcoming weekend, when the French Open begins, we will try to continue to entertain everyday shows. It's very difficult because
it'll be very tough, honestly, guys.
Yeah, because we teach an hour away and then we have to drive home. And then on a couple of days a week, our clinics don't end until 8 o'clock at night. So sometimes after we groom the courts and sweep them and clean everything up and get the kids in the car and load all our shit up, sometimes we don't get home till 11 o'clock.
It'll be very tough because of the rain. So my husband said we're going to stay after for the rain. So it'll be very tough unless we do the show over there.
But there's no internet there.
No,
it's not safe enough to risk this.
Okay, then
we're not going to rattle this material.
So the reality is we're not going to have shows every day. That's the truth.
Okay, fair enough. But we're going to try.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the month of May is almost over, right? So in June, just to give you a heads up, we have 2 youth camps. We have a beginner camp, and then we have an intermediate and advanced camp in June. Then we have SummerSlam for the second year, which is a doubles tournament. 3-0, 3-5, 4-0 women.
We have a members event also.
And a members event as well.
And a cleaning day.
Okay. So we'll do our best. But again, there's no substitute for the awesome energy that all of you guys bring. We love it, man. And we have done this for a while now. Like, we didn't just hit the on button yesterday. Like, everyone in the chat right now, what Gene and Jesus and Zest for Life and Spencer and Ivan, and the list goes on. But we have sat down right here and talked smack for at least 6 years now. 6 years. So unending thanks to all of you, because there's no one that sits here and listens to us just if they're not true. So much love to all of you. Jesus, do not forget to reach out to Carlos so we can send you more strings. And by the way, you answered the question right. If you would rather like a $30 value of a D&M or a YTEX or 5K tennis shirt, we'll send you that as well. We have shirts of this color and blue and white. Anyway, but just talk to Carla. You'll handle that. Okay. So our next week or when the French Open starts next Sunday, we will do our next French Open show.
Yep. Okay.
We take Sundays off. Generally we grocery shop that day, but we'll figure that out. But we will do our next show on next Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
The first round of the French Open starts that Sunday.
Yep.
If you have any questions about the fantasy team, if you have any questions, please put it in comments on this video. Gene Swart is there. I've seen him in the chat. Thomas Chi, I'm not so sure.
He was there earlier.
Okay, good job, Thomas Chi, for that. Anyway, but make sure you ask the questions here because, you know, if you pick some winning team and you could have won, you know, $200 and you miss, you know, make sure you ask any questions. Earlier in the day or early in the show, I mentioned Raducanu, who, and all of you know that you followed or you've been a part of this crew for many, many years. When Emma Raducanu won the U.S. Open, Carla and I just went off like, what the hell? This is ridiculous, blah, 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 blah. I read an article, and I'm just going to shoot through this really quickly. Emma Raducanu, her earnings on and off the court dwarf people such as Kvitova, people that have been on tour for years and have won majors, okay? Emma Raducanu, after having won that U.S. Open during COVID, oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Damn. Raducanu. Okay. Since then, Raducanu has a sponsorship from Nike, Wilson, HSBC, which I'm pretty confident is a bank, Porsche, Vodafone, British Airways, Avion, Dior, avocados from Mexico. Jesus, you know about that. Morgan Stanley, Lululemon, and Google. Tiffany, the company Tiffany, like, you know, I'm a sneakerhead if you follow that stuff, but I love sneakers. And we tried to get those Tiffany Air Force Ones collaborations.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going for like $5,000 now. Too bad we missed on that. She did get the Travis Scott 1 lows though. That was right. Anyway, but Tiffany gave her a $30,000 pair of earrings, which consisted of a small diamond and a small pearl, to wear and to keep simply because she claimed she was an ambassador of Tiffany, right? I mean, man, we bust our ass for a $4 set of strings or $10, whatever, man. I wish I got a $30,000 pair of earrings. Okay, in an ending, favorites to win Roland Garros in terms of Vegas. What's up, Mike Walker? This is where me and Mike get down. Novak Djokovic is an 11-10 favorite. In other words, you got to bet a little bit more then you'll win if you pick him to win. Heavy favorite, 11-10. Bet 110, you win 100. Carlos Alcaraz next up, 5-1. You bet 100, you win 500. Berrettini is in the mix at 10-1. Would you bet on Berrettini at 3 million to 1? Berrettini who? He needs to go marry Raducanu. Okay, Yannick Sinner, I could see that. Honestly, I
Should have been above Berrettini.
Yeah, a Yannick Sinner is 12-1. A Yannick Sinner, I feel, should be in front of Berrettini on the odds there.
Yes.
Okay. Next one, Sasha, aka Alexander
He's still playing
Zverev.
decent.
Yeah.
I watch him.
Okay,
Yeah,
fair
he's
enough.
playing decent.
We wish him well after the
Should be above Berrettini as well.
Yeah. And the last one that I wrote was Stefanos Tsitsipas. Now he's at 21 to odds, and I get that. One-handed backhand from up here is tough. So it's really tough on the clay when the ball bounces, slows down, and pops up on you before you get there. It's hard to top.
It says here, Zest for Life said Matteo is not even playing the French Open.
See, what's up with these odds? I don't know. There you go. Good knowledge job, bro. Thank you, Zest. Okay, women's side, Swiatek 10-3. Woo, she's a heavy favorite. Damn, you got to bet $100 to win 30. Would you take that bet?
No.
Okay, Rybakina, 4-1 odds. Sabalenka, the grunting empress herself, that has only one gear, knocked the shit out of the ball. She's 9-2. Okay, 4.5 to 1, whatever. Ons Jabeur 9-1.
Will never win a slam. Her last year was her best results. 2 finals.
She did well. She had a good year.
Excellent for her.
The last that I wrote down for the women, they have the same odds, and that is Petra Kvitova and Coco Gauff at 14-1 odds.
Yeah.
Out of those 6 women, if you had to choose one and risk your life on it, which one would you choose?
Rybakina.
Okay. And now
she seems to be a bit more calm. It seems to me lately, I've been watching YTEX. She seems emotionally unstable.
Yeah.
So we know in women's tennis, when you are emotionally unstable, bad things happen.
Yeah. Shit hits the fan.
Yeah. We've seen when Osaka gets emotional, she loses. We've seen Serena, when she gets emotional, she loses.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
So do you think that U.S. Open where Serena looked at Kim Clijsters and was like, I'm going to shove this ball down your throat, and she lost, do you think that negative
Of course,
outburst
your
had
emotions get to you.
Yeah.
Yes. In order to win, there's very few players that can be negative and get out of it.
Who are some of those? Djokovic, Medvedev?
Yeah, very
Mhm.
few players that can be negative and get out of it. It's very tough to get negative and get out of it. It takes a special person to do that.
I agree. Last couple things and we're out. The PGA, that's golf. The PGA Championship is ongoing. When we started this show, I think Brooks Koepka was in first place. Does anyone know how that finished up?
He leads Victor by 1 stroke in the final round.
Oh, it's gotten tight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Watch holes 14, 15, and 16, it says.
Okay. Last squash
Thank
thing.
God.
Oh, come on, man. See
Come
what
on.
I've got to
Come
do
on,
with this,
man.
man. How you
It's like an hour and 30 minutes now.
Okay. Well, we haven't done it in 4 months. We're catching up for
but
lost time.
You just like to hear
Okay.
yourself talk. I'm just kidding.
I got a sore throat. You think I want to talk?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The
He
Italian
likes
Open.
to watch himself.
I don't watch this stuff. Okay. The Italian Open, the tennis tournament that
Yes.
just finished.
Yes.
Supposedly, there was a fiasco during the tournament because of so many rain delays, and then ultimately for the trophy presentation.
Yes,
Okay.
I saw that.
So during the trophy presentation, I guess a long story short, it didn't really work out very well. They were rushing to get it over with. They started the match at midnight that night, a final. And
How
then,
do you play at midnight?
that's a good question.
I would.
Why did they
Your
do it?
energy is so low by that time.
Yeah, you've probably been up like me since
Like you're
4:30.
tired by
dying.
that time. Yeah.
So one thing real quickly, and I sent you a message about this.
I think I have it.
And I just don't want to squash it without
Let
at
me
least
see.
I did the research, so I don't want to
I'm
lose
sure
it.
I have it right.
Okay, I got it already.
Okay.
Okay, so Renee Stubbs is a longtime tennis player,
Mhm.
and the title of this, I'm showing you, so you know I'm not making it up. Okay, this is from I'm trying to find the I don't want to. Oh, it's from sportskita.com. And the title says Serena Williams' ex-coach blasts the Italian Open for ruining Elena Rybakina trophy presentation. So, and I'll speed this up. Renee Stubbs, former coach of Serena Williams, took a jab at the Italian Open organizers for their incompetence in handling the women's singles finals between Elena Rybakina and Alina Kalinina on Saturday, May the 20th. The women's singles final in Rome was a disarray right from the word go. Originally scheduled for a 7:00 p.m. local time on Saturday, the match finally commenced an hour before midnight after numerous rain delays and the semifinal between Stefanos Tsitsipas and Daniil Medvedev. The match was eventually dragged in to the next day. Moreover, the Wimbledon winner Rybakina was crowned the Italian Open champion after her opponent Kalinina retired due to injury in the second set, score being 6-4, 1-0. The presentation ceremony that followed was a damp squib as well, with presenters missing the sequence of events, Elena Rybakina needing to ask for the trophy herself, and a disappointed crowd booing the organizers. Renee Stubbs states she was unimpressed by the incompetence and went on a rant stating she needed a Xanax after watching that, which is crazy to mention on national television. It's crazy. Anyway, I want to get into that. An awful pharmaceutical, by the way. Anyway, as she goes on to say, this was the worst trophy presentation or tournament or finals that she's ever seen. Quote, what the hell is going on with this presentation? Also, the fact that women are playing a final at 10 o'clock or 10 minutes before midnight is an abomination. They announce the winner first and forget about the runner-up. Dear Lord, woof. I love Italy. I mean, love Italy, but they are not the world's most organized. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, all of Italy's going to hate her for that. Anyway, if anybody saw it, talk about it later.
Spencer said winner had trophy first. Kalina got her second. Some crowd booing. Kalina, followed by more confusion on who was holding what trophy and where. Total mess.
All right, last thing. This goes to Yin Hao Kur out there. The last thing, I promise. Last thing. Okay, yeah, last thing. Yin Hao Kur, what's up? B-Dog, if you jump on later, what's up? I'm a basketball fan. Love it. Used to play a lot as a kid, right? Anyway. The Lakers are down 0-3. Now I'm not going to get in. I'm born a Laker. I was raised there, but I'm not a big Lakers fan now. No disrespect to LeBron. He's a great player, but I'm not a big LeBron fan. And the reason why was reminded to me last night. How many times in LeBron's career has there been just a couple seconds left in the game? There's no chance of coming back and win it. He just storms off the court without his teammates and leaves everybody alone. Now, how does this even make sense into tennis? When I was a kid, if my dad's out there and my mom can vouch, if I played a match and I did not, A, shake hands in the net with my opponent, and B, walk off the court with them, win or lose, you stay there, you wait for your opponent to get their stuff, and you walk off the court together. LeBron missed this whole thing, right? Absolutely hideous, freaking ridiculous, and unacceptable. So here's the question, no. The Lakers are down 0-3. Any chance of them, A, coming back? By the way, let's go, Jokic. Let's go. Has there ever been another Serbian basketball player that dominates the game like Jokic? He's like busting out triple doubles, 12 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists, killing it. Does anyone beat the Nuggets number one? On the other side, you got the Celtics and the Heat. I'm pulling for the Heat. You know, I like Tatum. I like the whole Celtics organization. But who would have thought the Celtics, the Heat and Jimmy Butler would be up, 2 games to 9? Is it game 3 tonight? Let's go, Jimmy Butler. Let's go. Everybody doubting that man. Anyway, what are your thoughts on the NBA championship or the NBA finals? Who do you think will win? At this point now, look, I got to put the props to either Denver, Jokic. Has there ever been another number one player like Jokic from Serbia that's won a championship?
I have no idea.
I guarantee you that man's pulling for Jokic. Jokic, pretty similar too.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, who do you like better? Celtics or Heat? And what final would you like to see? And how many games will that final be? Okay.
Cool.
All right. Adios. We'll see you soon. Great show. We caught all up to now, and we'll see you next Sunday. Okay. Vamos. Let's go.
Bye-bye, guys.